We're live.
Oh, we live. Okay. So I would like to welcome folks out there to my Facebook page, on the Z Corner YouTube, and the Z Corner page, if I'm not mistaken. My name is Chilekwa Mambwe, and I am on a journey with fellow Zambians, a journey that is called economic revolution, economic independence. The journey that is called Ubuntu. I would like to state that we are living in very, critical, what can I say? We are living in a very tricky time. A time where we need to prepare a generation that is going to take over Zambia 50 years from now. I believe that 50 years from now is either I'm going to be a grandfather or I'm going to be dead. We are talking of 93 years old. I'm 43. I'm 43 years old. And 50 years from now, I'm going to be 93 years old if I'll be there. Meaning I'll be a serious great-grandfather if I'll be there. But if I won't be there, I'll be dead. The question is, have you seen people that have been veterans in names in Zambia, who have passed away, who used to do very fine economically? Have you seen where their children have been left? There are certain names that we used to fear in this country. And when you look at the children that they have left behind, you'll find that they have remained with no wealth. There are certain people that we call, even in Ndola where I was brought up, Kurubuto, Kansenshi, Kukitwe, Machambori. There are certain people that actually, left some names, but it's just names that it meant to say, these guys used to be wealthy. Not even wealthy, rich. I would like to say something. That there are also names that have not remained anywhere. Names that have only remained as a surname, as an inheritance for people. This is my hashtag. I would like to, this evening, to address this issue of production must come first before reproduction. And I would like you, my dear viewers and listeners, to listen to this very much carefully. Production must come before reproduction. What am I talking about? I've got friends who used to laugh at me in those, years when I used to be a teenager. They used to laugh at me by the reason being that I never used to actually move around, play around with girls. Even when I was in my early 20s, even when I was in my early 30s, guys used to laugh at me. Even when I was hitting 35, I had my colleagues who married. When I reached 40, people were even laughing at me. Friends were laughing at me. Why are you not marrying? When I was 41, 42, people were laughing at me. Why are you not marrying? We said, And on my mind, on the back of my mind, I knew that production must come before reproduction. I spent most of my time, never mind about me giving examples about myself, because I know myself better than I know you who is watching me. People say in church, for church, to say the best sermon you can give is your testimony. And that's why you will hear more of me saying a lot of things about myself. That friend of mine I'm talking about, as we are talking, is a grandfather. Nekunkana na muzukuru at this age in Malo. He's a grandfather. Words of school, sinainde bunobuino. And he's a drunk. He's a drunkard. What am I talking about? These are some of the people. I haven't mentioned their name, meaning I'm not embarrassing anyone. I'm giving a typical example of what is going on. These are some of the people that used to laugh at me and who is watching me, who has been moving on this road of patience and trying to do something before reproduction. A grandfather, and very soon he will be a great grandfather. What am I talking about? As you are living in this life journey, there are people who will come your way and they will laugh at you for not doing certain things. And if you be moved by their laughter, their critics, you will actually lose focus and direction. Therefore, if there is something that you are trying to achieve at the end of the day, you must make sure that you remain focused regardless of what a person on the right or person on the left is going to tell you. Now let me delve into the topic of the day, or of the night rather. Production must come first before reproduction. What do I mean? And what is the link to generational wealth? Because a lot of you folks who are watching me, who do not have parents like myself, you know that you are where you are because when your parents died, when my parents died, the only inheritance they left was a surname. Nothing else but a surname as an inheritance. And because of that, we are where we are. To make matters worse, it actually comes from our forefathers, who actually only knew to say, taenda ku school. We need to complete our grade 12. After our grade 12, we go to college. After our college, we go to work. And in those days, there were a lot of companies, and most of them being run by the Wazungus. And after, we get retired, we get our package, our pension. After eating the pension, because we didn't do any entrepreneurship, drama, we get depressed. And after depression, we die. That has been what our people have been going on. The issue of generational wealth is a foreign thing to most of us here. When you look at the Wazungus, you will find that even when you look at the retired people in the Wazungu countries, where they eat from, how they live, that's why you see a lot of Africans living for Europe and America, going to take care of old people. This is a long story. Old people who have too much money Their children can't even spend time to be taking care of them. Our people from Africa are employed to look at old people, to wash them, bath them, clean them, do everything for them, cook for them, and they are getting at least a little something which they are sending to Africa to build those mansions we are seeing. But let me tell you something. Why is it that these Wazungus who have children cannot take care of, their children can't be bathing them? It's simple. They have worked. Their children have a life to live. They have got children to take care of. They have to enjoy family life. They don't have to be looking at their old parents because they are Africans to employ. Are you getting that? So what am I talking about? These are retired people that have been investing throughout their lives. And as a result, they are now looking forward to, who is going to look after me? Oh, my children, no, you can't look after me. Come on, go and look after your family. We are going to employ Africans. Why? We are a continent of people who believe in Boma Yanganepo. And because we don't believe in investing, what has happened is that whenever we get old, we remain destitute. Whenever we get old, we become depressed, and we die after we have finished our pension. And this is the narrative that we have to change. What I would like to mention is that when God was creating this world, He said, let there be light. There was light. Let there be this, the moon. Let there be this. Let there be this. Until we finished. And after finishing all the foundations of the earth, everything, He put the aquaculture there, the fish, the birds of the air. He put the chickens, livestock, together with ng'ombe, my pigs in a vasala. Then He said, He put the emeralds, the gold, the copper, and everything. Then He said, let us create man in our own image and our own likeness. I'm not preaching the word of God, I'm preaching the word of reality. After that was done, Adam was actually created. Wamugoneka, wamuchosako rib, and He created Eve. Then He puts them in the Garden of Eden, and He said, go and multiply. What had God done? First of all, there was production, where everything was put in place. Minerals, this and that, that and that. Then later on, He brings them on earth and He says, in the Garden of Eden, go and multiply. What did God do? He said, we make man in our own what? Likeness, okay? And image. Meaning, we are like God. That's why the Bible says that parents are second gods. We procreate. So since God created us, and we must procreate, to be like God, we must make sure that we prepare before we procreate. So there must be production before procreation. Now, what are we doing? We procreate, and there is no production. Imagine the mess. There are some of you who are watching me, and you know that it has been so hard for you just to get done with your tertiary education. So hard before this free education up to grade 12. So hard for you just to finish your grade 12. It was so hard. What am I talking about? If you are watching me right now and you do not have a child, here's my message to you. Do not even dare have one. Do not procreate before production. And if you have a child right now, I want to tell you that you must start running right now. Because in Zambia, we believe that we are Christian, right? And Zambia is a Christian nation. Now, listen to this word. Since Zambia is a Christian nation, we believe that there will be a day of judgment. No posa mulino. That's what you believe. And imagine that child that you have. Today you don't do anything about it. The production. You don't create wealth. You don't invest for the future of that child. Imagine on the day of judgment, when God shall actually look at you coming, and he shall stop you to say, Wawa, immediately first. Nizi wamfunuenda either ku left or ku right. Ku mpanga, mbelele is it, na ku mbuzi. Now before you go, I would like you to watch this video. You are the father to this girl, not so? Yes. You left this girl on earth, not so? Yes. You are the father to this boy, not so? Yes. You left this boy on earth, not so? Yes. After you died, because you didn't leave an inheritance, mwamuna wamena unasia, anankala jigavenga. Anaenda ku maximum prison. Because of that, aenda kuti ku hell. Mukazi wamena unasia, enzopezeka mu street ule. And because anakala ule, aenda ku hell. And because of that, Baba, you don't qualify to go to the right. Now, I would like you to think critically about that. Are you telling me right now where you're seated, if you're a normal human being, tomorrow you want to go running, putting up something for that child you brought on earth? I mean, these are questions we should be asking ourselves. These are serious questions we should be asking ourselves. What wealth are you going to leave on earth for your children's children? ShopRite is a cooperative. Oh, okay, fine. Africans know what. So what we do, Zambia, let's put monies together. We take ShopRite there. Kuti, money's together, ShopRite there. Kuti, money's there, together, ShopRite there. Alone, you cannot do it. But together, through Ubuntu, we can reach far. That's why my team actually produces about 46,000 brands. We started with 6,000 not too long ago, last year. We went to 43,000, then 46,000. We're now going to 70,000, God willing. Alone, you can't raise the 1.8 million, 1.9 million capital. It's a tall order. But togetherness is making things happen for us. So when I look at what is happening in Africa, it is a sorry situation. Generational wealth is something that we just hear. A very good example I talk about is Zanaco, the rubber bank that bought 49% shares. They were a cooperative society before I was born in Netherlands. And now it is the third generation, great-grandchildren who are running that. They even bought another percentage, very good percentage of shares in Kilimanjaro Bank, which is the bank in Tanzania. They are now buying shares in different banks in the world. Do you know how much they have? This is the Africa we are talking about. This is the Zambia we are talking about, where we do not believe in generational wealth. And I would like to draw you to another thing. This thing I'm going to draw you to is an aeroplane. When an aeroplane has actually loaded people, and it begins to actually move on a runway. It hits the V-speed and it flies. That aeroplane has started the journey because the pilots know where the aeroplane is going to land. And that's how come people are comfortable. They get into this plane and they are comfortable even sleep. Because we know where the pilots know where they are taking us. Where we are going to land. It is not our business, it is the pilots. And when the plane now lands, people are even comfortable, tafika. And now I liken that to the way us Africans take our children on a plane called life. We bring children on earth on this plane called life, and I'm going to name the plane called Mambwe. I am a plane for my generation. Munalula is a plane called Munalula for his generation. My friend Mwanza, there is a plane called Mwanza for his generation. Now the Mwanza plane, Matamaka Mwanza, Oxpata, the plane starts off. Ooh, it is going. His children won't care where the plane, where the plane is going to land, because they are saying, this is Papa. This is our father, Mr. Mwanza. This is our mother, Mrs. Mwanza. This is our father, Mr. Mambwe. This is our mother, Mrs. Mambwe. We are safe. We are with our parents. Children don't know that the parents have not even put up any inheritance. Meanwhile, they are on the plane called Mambwe, Mwanza, Munalula. And the children don't know that actually the plane where it is going, there is no airport. There have never been any production, nowhere for the plane to land. Then what will happen is that when the plane reaches somewhere, the benzene will finish. At fuel yande kiasira. And there is nowhere to go back because Amwanza akula manje, Amambwe akula manje, you can't go back. You are not going back means I go back to my 20s. So Amwanza, the plane is moving, and where it has reached, there is no airport. He has not prepared any inheritance for the children. Where it has reached, the fuel has finished, meaning the years ya paka, bafunika kufa bamambwe na Mwanza. This plane will have nowhere to land but to crash. This is the parenting that is happening in Africa, where we are endowed with so many natural resources, but we are watching foreign nationals come in our country, and they are making it big, and they are making all this money, sending it back to their countries for their children's children. Meanwhile, what are we doing? We are busy doing hand to mouth. Let me tell you as I conclude. Let me tell you something. If you are, this is a favorite line that I have. If you are a person who is even getting 60,000 kwacha as a salary, 60,000 kwacha, 40,000 kwacha, 20,000 kwacha, 10, 5, abashalo kunisha mboe. And you do provide everything for your children. Pizza, Nando's, name it. You take them for a swim. You take them to Livingstone on a plane. Jumping castle. You buy them PlayStation Go, PlayStation 3. You buy them expensive toys. You take them to London for a visit. Let me tell you something. As long as there is no investment for their future, you are poor. Very poor. And that's why I love our Ubuntu family, which has actually embarked on a multi-million dairy farming project. People have been asking me, why have you written to SEC? Why have you written to DEC, to Zambia Police, to Auditor General's Office? And I've said, I'm not foreseeing, but I'm seeing a lot of money coming into the account very soon. And I'm seeing a lot of people developing ideas on how they can actually do kapamela on that money. And so for me, I've put accountants on board. I've put all these, systems in place together with my team so that we can protect the wealth we'll be actually building for future generations. So, for me on earth, I fear only poverty and God. God and poverty. People ask me, they wonder why I promote this economic independence with passion. The reason is simple. I attempted killing myself twice, sometime back when I was a teenager, only 17 years old, because of poverty after I lost my father. And because of that, I fear poverty. Poverty has humbled a lot of people. There are many girls out there who are going to school and they are paying their tuition fees, they are paying their rent by basically sleeping with sugar daddies. It's not a laughing matter. As a nation, we must come together, and through Ubuntu, we can actually solve all these problems. There are boys who are sleeping with sugar mummies to make ends meet. It is happening. There are so many things. There are guys who are just stealing for them to make ends meet. You see why I fear poverty? And that's why we have to work smart and hard. Hard is not enough. We have to work smart and make sure that we begin to build generational wealth for our future generations through Ubuntu. So I thought I could give you this talk tonight. To some, it has not made sense. To others, it has made sense. To some, they can even ridicule this talk. They can call it names. But to those who are thinking critically, they know that as long as you have a child and you're not doing anything about wealth creation, you are sitting on a time bomb. That child, even if it is one you have brought on earth, that child is a village. That child is carrying generations. And that child is a village who has feelings that one day that child will get married, or will marry, and will multiply. And after you are gone, and God happens to show you a video of the mess you'll have left behind, you just have to prepare to go into hellfire. I will die preaching generational wealth. Our goal is 2025. We must break even. 2025, when China will be looking at, making 500,000 millionaires, we are looking at making 10,000 millionaires in Zambia, and I'll be one of them. Fear is the greatest enemy, especially the fear that we develop in ourselves. We should not fear anything. God has blessed this country too much, and God will laugh at us, and the generations that are coming may come and call us a generation of idiots if we don't make it out of what we have. In conclusion, I would like to tip you on something. We are busy in Lusaka fighting for 2x2 plots, 10x5 plots. Foreign nationals who are coming in our country, it's a global village now. You can't deny people to come and do business here. They are busy getting huge chunks of land in our outskirts. And as they are getting the huge chunks of land, they are opening factories. And we are busy rushing there to work. The money they are making, they are sending back home. Who are they making it for? They are making for their future generations. We have seen here in Lusaka, we have some foreign nationals have built very nice flats. Who is renting in those flats? It is us Zambians. They are making some sweets, they are making some what? Who is buying all that food? It is us Zambians. We are a parasitic generation. A little parasite, or whatever, protozoa, whatever parasite, I don't know, but we are a parasitic generation. We can't even make a toothpick. Go to any mall, from one corner to the other, you find that all the shops belong to foreigners. Go out there, booth, that's where Zambians are. Check all the products that are in the shops they are offering. And the only Zambian thing in that shop is a Zambian parking for you, who is also dressed in all foreign clothing. How can we develop like this? Therefore, folks, We need to wake up and grab the economy into our hands. Dr. Keke and his comrades, may their souls rest in peace, they fought for political independence. And it's high time we fought for the economical independence of our country. Napwisha. And all I'm saying is, please, if your child is there, just know that there are two things that any child can actually inherit. Either your wealth or your poverty. What are you doing? Are you creating wealth? Thank you. If you're investing, your child will definitely inherit your wealth. And if you're just getting your salary and chewing without investing, waiting for pension, let me tell you something. Your child or your children or your generation is in for poverty. I thank you.